To get water. I was dying of thirst. I had still have like old makeup on my face and everything because I'm just like half asleep still. But yeah, so I saw his face and I was like, George, I know like you've never considered yourself like handsome or this or that, but I always thought there was something there, something that I saw, and that's why I was with you. But you are beautiful. And I told him, I was like, you're fucking gorgeous. And he really was. When people transform on me, I see them for who they really are and what they really are. And George's transformation was just like such an eye-opener. Because I never could guess like what animal he was or anything. I'm like, I don't know what you are. Like, I'm very curious to find out what you are because I have no idea like what you are, but I'm excited to find out. And then when I finally found out and I saw he was a blue avian, that type of alien. I mean, like, I've always kind of considered the blue avians. I was like, I don't know, that's a silly race of aliens. That doesn't even like seem like right or something. And then when I saw it for what it was, I was like, this shit's legit. And I don't know, it just, yeah. And his place is like a wreck, and just like there's a lot going on. And part of it is he won't clean up because of his depression. It's hard to, because it's one person. He has like 2 dogs and a cat, and the dogs get destructive. But I told him, because I was being very honest, and I wanted him to hear me out because I am literally like concerned for my friend. And I told him, I was like, you got to pull yourself out of this depression. This depression is like, it's going to like destroy you. Like, I was looking at his body, and one part of his back is risen, the other part's like down, like, and just going through like the myofascia and everything. Like, I was just like, there's a lot wrong. And I've been like reading a book on intuitive healer, and in that book it talks about energy, and whether we realize it or not, energy is what keeps us alive. Without the energy, we die. So energy is everything. And a lot of people, the reason why they get sick and all that stuff is because their energy's off. And if your energy's off, you get illnesses. And those illnesses, like a cancer or a disease, sometimes can be very fatal, and then you die. Man, I need like water in my eyes because, like, oh my gosh, my eyes are just itchy and dry. I don't know why I'm so dehydrated. I didn't do anything. I'm just dehydrated. Wait, oh no, I had a few shots. I lied. But yeah, so that's how vital our energy is, and how vital it is, like, that we take care of ourselves. And if we're in a bad situation with someone or something, we got to pull ourselves out of it and get our energies right, because if our energies are not right, that will eventually lead to sickness. And I'm learning all about this stuff, and it's kind of like, whoa. And I saw where George was, and I was like, he's going downhill fast, and he's going downhill like faster than he realizes. I mean, like, I can only do so much. And I told him, I'm like, look, I'm not gonna like let you stay in this depression, and I'm gonna push you to like fucking get shit done. And this is not good for you, because if you continue on like this, you will have a disease, you will, like, an illness, something. Like, it's bound to happen, and I see it, and I'm scared for him, because he's only like 28. He's so young. He's too young to have like cancers or anything of that nature. But with the way he's going there, I see that happening. And because he is a starseed, now that I know that, he was put here on this earth to do something very, very just, I don't know. He's supposed to help us somehow. I just know that. I sound crazy. But I can't deny what I see. So it is what it is. And the other thing I saw in his place, and it wasn't just like a mess like on a physical level, on a spiritual level, his place was literally a mess. Like, I kept feeling like all this like webbing on me, and I was like, what is this fucking webbing on me? Like, I kept like feeling, it was just like, it was horrible. And then I started seeing these giant spiders. They're about like that big, gray spiders. And then there was these like weird slug things about like that long. And they were just like everywhere. And it was like covering his room. And I was like, oh, fuck. And it made sense. And I was like, this is really bad. Like, this is bad. There was these energy bugs all in his place. And I told him, I'm like, look, cleanliness is godliness. And you've got to, like, clean up your place. You've got to take care of it. And, or if not, you need to move out of your place, but you need to get rid of, like, a lot of junk. Just junk. You need to start just throwing away shit, because this is not good for you. And all this shit right here is going to drag your energy. All of it is just going to go down. And, like, I was just speaking. Like, I just, like, it was so crazy, because it was, like, I was so intuitive in that moment, and I just knew things, and that everything was wrong. And I was scared for him. And I know we fought, and he said some hurtful things. He was like, you know what, you're my problem, you're the reason all this is up. And I took responsibility for it, and I was like, you know what, I think you're right, and I apologize and everything. But at first I took it all on, because, like, I was in that very emotional stage where I was just, like, taking it all in. And I was like, you know what, it's not all my fault. Like, a lot of this, it's both of our faults here. And, you know, like, people have choices to make. And I was like, if you want me out of your life, I will get out of your life. But I don't want to get out of your life, because I want to help you get out of this hole that you're in. Like, this is so bad. So, yeah, we talked through things, and we got on the right page, and we are, like, going to help each other out, like, because there's a lot that I found out, too, about myself. I started seeing feathers, like, come off of me, but they weren't, like, blue, per se. Like, everything kind of is, like, rainbows, but it was, like, different. And George and I shared a dream, like, a long time ago. I'm pretty sure I mentioned the whole dream with the owls in my blog thing. And it was kind of like a futuristic dream, and I was, like, sparring this, like, blue avian, I remember. And there were these baby barn owls that I was playing with. And in George's dream, he was, like, on a Sith pad trying to get in communication with me. And then we're running in the woods, and I'm running away from him. But there was, like, these, like, owl beings chasing him, and we all had this the same night, and we were like, holy shit, we just fucking dream shared. I've never done that with anyone. So we've been trying to understand our connection. And when my mushroom trip happened, and I found out that he was a blue avian, it all made sense to me. Everything fucking made sense. And I was like, this fucking Pfizer, determined to eat me. It all made sense, and then I realized what we were to each other, and we've known each other in a past life. Like, that's a definite. And I didn't quite understand everything, like, during my trip. Like, I just understood what he was and what he needed to do. So I'm gonna have to make another video here soon. But that following night, because he didn't see, like, what he was, I had to tell him what he was. But he had a dream, and he saw his full self in his dream. And he also saw, like, what I was, and what he saw in me was I was like this owl being, and I had, like, golden and white feathers. And he also met one of his guides, which, when he started describing his guide to me, like, before he even said it, I was like, that's Set. And he was like, that's crazy, because, yeah, he said he was Set. He was known by many names. And in his dream, they were speaking, like, a lot of different languages, but he was understanding these languages. And then the dog being mentioned, that he was son, well, he didn't say Horus, per se. He said, like, another name. George actually had to go back and do, like, a lot of research on all these names that he was hearing in his dream and everything, just to, like, get a better understanding. But from what they were saying is he's son of Horus. And it's possible, but I must have ties. Either that I have ties or I am Serket. And I find, and it's kind of crazy because when I started doing, when you told me the dream, I started doing some research on Serket, and she does sound like a lot like me. Like, she's a healer. She's very, like, in good with, like, animals, and she does magic, and she heals scorpion stings mainly, but any kind of venoms. Like, she was she never had a temple, but she had a lot of, like, priests that, like, worked with her, and, like, everyone revered her. Like, it wasn't that she was a lesser god, like, they knew her importance. And it sounded a lot like me, and even, like, to the point where, like, because I remember, like, I'm a vengeful motherfucker, I'll be honest, but, like, I've always thought, you know, if someone ever does me wrong, I'm gonna fucking get me a black widow or a brown recluse, and I'm gonna put it in their bed at night. I'm gonna bunch of them, and they're just gonna die, and they'll never know what hit them, because it will be me. And I started, like, reading about Serket, and that's the kind of shit she does, and I was like, holy fuck, am I this person? What the fuck? I've never, like, had so many things in common with, like, a fucking god or whatever, but I was like, that's weird. That's fucking crazy. And I guess that might mean that I'm one of the starseeds too. And I guess that wouldn't surprise me because I've had contact with, like, a gray, and I've had a lot of weird shit happen to me all the time. But I just know, like, I came to a realization on the mushroom trip, and I'm like, you know, I'm being too lazy, I'm being too this, I'm being too that. There's a lot more I need to be doing with my life. And I told George, there's a lot more you need to be doing with your life. Like, we gotta get together, we gotta make some shit happen, because right now, we're not fucking living. We're not, like, we're just going day to day. No, like, we need to be, like, doing so much more than what we're fucking doing right now. Like, I know I do my YouTube videos. I try to get,